Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is ChukwunonsoCaptures, aka Mazi. Chakon, aka the Photo Cosmetic Surgeon, and this is another YouTube video. Alright, so this is the first video out of a series that I'm gonna make called Secrets of Photo Editing Revealed, right? And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to make this picture. Alright, so shout out to Anya. I know you've been waiting for these pictures for a long time, right? So Anya's a great model. I've collaborated with her a few times. We're gonna link her Instagram in the description below. But basically that's the levitation shoot that I did at my annual sunflower field photo shoot, right? That was a levitation picture, rather, that I usually, that I did at this sunflower field annual photo shoot that I do. So basically, I'm gonna show you how I make that picture. It's a few creative steps, you know what I'm saying, to make it look real and very realistic and things like that. So without further ado, follow me to my laptop and I'm gonna show you how I made that picture, all right? All right, let's go. All right, so welcome to my laptop screen. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the components of this picture, right? So the first picture I have here was taken at the sunflower field, and I had Anya stand on a chair, and you know, she's holding the umbrella, and I asked her to kind of display, just kind of like display a pose that would you know, seem as if the wind is blowing her up as, you know, it's blowing the umbrella and carrying her upwards, right? Just to ask her to like display certain body language, like, you know, with her one foot here extended and she's kind of looking upwards, and just to kind of like, you know, kind of tense her arm a little bit and just to look happy and just to make the whole picture look realistic, look like she's floating and things like that, right? And then afterwards, I told her to, is that this picture? Okay, yeah, so this picture, I told her to extend her foot like this, and you'll see the reason for that later, but I asked her to extend her foot. The reason being is because I'm just going to use just her foot from this picture, right? And you'll see what I'm going to do with it later. I'm going to basically take a crop out of this foot and kind of superimpose it onto, you know, this picture to really make this foot right here look like she is, you know, like floating. So essentially that adds to the overall effect, you know what I'm saying? Because of course you can see that this picture, you can see that this foot is extended, and then, you know, this one just kind of looking flat, and you can tell she's standing on something, right? But if you do something special to this foot, it really brings the picture to life and makes it look realistic. Then this last picture here is just a basic picture of the background. I think I probably took this picture first or last or something like that, but Anya wasn't in this picture, and it's just a picture of the background. I'm going to use this picture to kind of erase away the chair, and you'll see how I do that later on. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this picture of the background, and I'm going to drop it onto this one. I believe I can just do one of these, so I can just click and drop. I use this button over here, the move tool. So I'll put it back up here, right? I don't need this background right now. I'm going to put it, I put it on top of the picture of her, as you can see down here with the layers. So let me put that back on top so that it is completely covering it. And I want it underneath the picture, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double click this picture of the background. It's underneath it right now, right? I'm gonna double click, right now it's locked. So I'm gonna double click this one to turn it into a layer. I'm just gonna hit OK. I don't really care what it's called. I can keep it being called layer 0. I'm just gonna hit the OK button, and now it'll let me drag it on top, right? So now that this picture is on top, what I'm gonna be able to do is I'm gonna be able to erase away this chair and reveal basically just like the bottom of the, the sunflower field, plants, the ground and all that stuff, right? So that's what I want to do. And then later on, I will use this picture to kind of finish it off, right? So I'm going to jump right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. That way I can see my work area and look at this a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to be working on this part. Scroll down a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the add layer mask icon, right? I'm going to click that, and basically what adding a layer mask does is that it lets you convert whatever layer you're talking about into kind of like a covering. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like a mask, you can show certain parts of your face if you're wearing a mask on your face, or you can not show certain parts of your face. Like some people wear masks just to cover their eyes. Some people wear masks just to cover their mouth, and the rest of their face will be exposed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna throw a mask on this, right? So now this is a mask, and now I'm kind of gonna reveal, you know what I'm saying, this top picture, and well, sorry, hide parts of this top picture to reveal parts of this bottom picture, like I said, right? So to do that, as you can see, this mask is a white color, and it's all white, meaning that everything on this top mask is being revealed, right? But I want to essentially hide, and to hide certain parts of it, to basically hide this chair, I'm going to paint the color black on top of it. So black hides something, right? So I clicked on this brush tool. That's what I'm gonna use. And my flow and opacity are both set to 100, which means that it's going to be 100% power. That's how strong the brush is going to be. And I have black here selected as the foreground color, which is good. If it was white instead, like if I press X, the letter X on the keyboard, X is in xylophone, it switches. And I don't want that. I don't want to keep painting white on here. I want to hide this. So I'm going to press X again, and it's going to be black, right? So black is what I want. And the softness of the brush is really soft right now. And that's okay for now. I'll keep it soft, but when I want to harden the brush a little bit, like towards the edges and things like that, and then I'm going to come back here, and I think I'm going to make it a little bit harder. But let's jump right into it and see what we got. All right. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm just over here on the navigator, just moving this. So make this brush a little bit bigger. I'm just going to start, as you can see, revealing, or I'm revealing the bottom layer by hiding the mask on the top layer, right? Hiding parts of it. So as you can see, the softness is okay, but like if I come over here to where like her jeans are, it doesn't really give me that sharp definition. You know what I'm saying? I want to make like a sharp line where her jeans are right here. I'm not able to do that with such a soft brush. I want to make, a harsh, like a defined line, I should say, like a really straight line. But this brush is way too soft. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the X button again to reveal X. This turns into a white. I'm gonna show back her jeans again. I just wanted to show you why that happened. So as I get closer to her leg, I'm just gonna leave it for now, and then I'm gonna come back later with a harder brush. So I'm gonna hit X again to, okay, I'm gonna hit X again, so that I'm painting black, and I think I accidentally knocked off the brush. So let me go back to the brush, and I'm just gonna continue to hide this top layer. Zoom back out. I want to be a little bit careful here because I want to show, I want some of this shadow to be here, because then it'll look more realistic. So I do want there to be a shadow here. Most of the shadow is from the chair, but I do want it to look like the shadow is actually from her. That's how you make the picture look realistic. And you know what? I'm probably just gonna hide her entire foot, because I'm gonna be getting another part of her foot later to use. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Get rid of all of this. I'm gonna zoom out to see how that looks. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so all right. So let me go back in a little bit and let me see if I can reveal. I'm gonna hit the X button to reveal, and you see where the shadows are. Let me see. This is probably where the leg of the foot. Yeah, this is the leg of the chair. So let me hide that back again. What I'm probably gonna do is use a little bit of clone stamp later on. Okay, I think that's okay for now. Oh, if you're wondering how I did that, I'm just holding down spacebar and then clicking and dragging. This hand icon comes up and it helps me move around. So I think that's okay for now. I think what I might want to do is, let me see. I think I'm gonna throw a mask. I think if I throw a layer on this, it might help me do a non-destructive clone stamp. Let me see if that works. I might have to actually, if what I'm about to do right now doesn't work, I might have to actually take some shadow from here and put it over here to make the picture complete. That's if it doesn't let me do it on this top layer that I created over here by hitting this layer icon. If it doesn't let me do that, then I'm gonna have to do it directly on this picture. I don't like doing destructive changes directly on the picture, so let me see if this lets me do it. So I'm gonna go up to healing brush. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. And I'm gonna Alt or Option on a Mac. And I'm gonna select a little bit here, then I'm gonna move. Okay, yeah, so it lets me do it. Let me make the brush a little bit bigger so I'm not creating like a pattern. So Alt. Let me see. And make sure you have Replace selected up here when you do that. So Replace, that means it takes from wherever you're getting and then puts it back on wherever you want it to be. So let me see. Alt. Okay, that's good enough. Let me see if I can get a harder brush. Make it a little bit harder so it doesn't seem so blurry, because right now I have a really getting kind of like a blurry job here. And that might make it look fake. So I'm gonna hold down Alt again. Just select some of the ground and replace that there. Okay. So we got a few shadows, which is good. Hold down Alt again, take some from here. Go over there, that looks a little weird. Let me change that, okay. And let me see, let me hold down Alt again from here. Good. And so I'm just trying to make it look as realistic as possible. Sometimes you kind of create a few patterns because you're like copying and pasting the same segment over and over again. So you just want to minimize the the patterns as much as possible so that it doesn't look, you know, fake. So this line here kind of looks fake. So what I'm gonna do is, there's no reason for a shadow over there. If I can move this. I'm kind of messing it up. But the good thing about putting on a mask, right, is that you can just, the good thing about doing all this work here on a layer instead of destructively on the picture itself is that you can just come up here and hit the, get the eraser, right, and erase anything that you don't like. See, like this. See that? I'm gonna Control Z to undo that. But had I done all of these changes on the layer itself, I wouldn't be able to erase, all right? Okay, this isn't looking too bad. And I kind of want to do this semi-quickly for the sake of the tutorial. Let me disable this mask just to see what the original picture looks like. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to right-click, I'm going to disable the mask temporarily. Okay, so that's not bad. So this is kind of what the shadow looks like, right? So it's a little jagged, that's fine. And then I'm going to enable it. So, okay. So it looks like I'm missing the bottom of these plants, kind of, but it's not too bad. It kind of looks like there's just dirt there. Just looks like there's dirt, which isn't not too bad. Looks kind of realistic. So disable one more time. Oh, okay, there's nothing there. All right, enable. Okay, so I'm just kind of paying attention to detail. Let's see one more time. I'm trying to look at see. It's like a ghost here of this stalk. Disable. Okay, that's why. There's a leaf in front of it. Enable. Okay, well, the thing about this is, for the most part, I think only I would know because I'm over here editing this picture. Someone else probably wouldn't even notice it because they're not editing it. Like when I post this on the gram, for the most part, you probably wouldn't even know. But since I'm seeing the changes occur in real time here in the screen in front of me, that's how I'm able to tell. Okay, I think this is pretty good. This is pretty good. There's no real leftovers of the chair. Like there's no remainder of the chair or anything like that, except for around like her leg. So that's fine. So I'm gonna zoom into this leg a little bit more. And what I'm gonna do is go back to the brush, make the brush as hard, just about as hard as I can. I'll leave it at like 90, 91, and then carefully brush the blacks to really get a detailed, yeah, see, this is really hard and it's kind of creating like an edge. So maybe I can soften this a little bit over here for the plant. So let me go over here. Enter. And just carefully go to clean out the interface between, oops, I'm erasing some of her jeans now, but all I gotta do, so I'm gonna clean out the interface between the chair and her jeans, but if I erase too much jean, I could just hit the X button and then put it all back. You can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And hit the X button again to go back to black. just continue revealing the bottom layer, I should say, and concealing the layer above it. Strings. Oh, that was kind of a harsh one. That's fine. You won't be able to tell. This is really zoomed in. So let me go down. Let me see if there's some more here. I mean, I'm being super careful now. I'm being an extreme perfectionist over here. Okay, and you know what? I think I kind of ghosted a little bit, made her jeans here kind of fade. So you know what? I'm gonna hit Alt or Option on a Mac. So I'm gonna Alt or Option, click on this mask over here to see what I did. Okay, no, that's fine. So what this does, let me zoom out a little bit. This shows you everywhere where you painted black. As you can see, you kind of see the highlight of the outline, I should say, of the chair. You see what I'm saying? That's what happens when you hit Alt or Option and then click on the mask. So all right, what I thought had happened was part of her jean here was a little bit painted in black, and it kind of is a little bit. I thought I saw just a little bit of ghosting right here. As you can see, there's a gray, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna remove that. That just lets you see what you're doing. Okay. I'm gonna cover this with her other foot. You're gonna see some digital surgery occur in a few minutes. Remove this, and then oops. Go back here. There's a little bit of chair still over here. Let me see, was there a little bit of ghosting on this side? Alt. Yeah, a little bit of ghosting, a little bit of gray. I thought I had kind of like, because the brush was so soft, I thought I had kind of faded a little bit of her leg, and it kind of just gave it this, you know, this blurry ghost-like look, which isn't, you know, oops, not really the best. Stalk of a plant here, and it ends with the chair. We should just get rid of the whole thing, right? Let me zoom out. Okay. Maybe I have to gradually fade that. You see that? Now we have to get a little bit creative. So I think what I have to do if this video gets too long, Alt, I'm gonna have to chop this one into shorts. Chop this video into a few shorts, and then people can watch it in, you know, small bits. Okay, so this is where this ends. So this is where the chair ends. So maybe we can do a little masking. To be honest with you, when you zoom all the way out to the big picture, you can't even tell. Yeah, you can't even tell, but you know what? Just to do this picture justice and just for the sake of this tutorial, trying to teach a little bit, I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna do that. Put a mask for you guys just so I can show you guys what exactly that means. So let's go back to the this tool, the healing brush. So when you hit the healing brush, we make this a little harder since we want a defined edge. No, that's not what I want. Hardness. Okay. Hit Alt to sample a little bit. Okay. I think it's sampling part of the chair. So, I mean, if I really wanted to, I think if I really wanted to do if I wanted to be extremely anal, maybe what I could do is, I probably would have like put these two in a group and then created a new layer from that, convert it into a smart object, but I'll save that for another video. That way that's the way to avoid it kind of sampling part of the chair, and you know, then it'll all be one contiguous layer. I'm kind of getting a little bit of a pattern, but that's fine. So I'm doing all that on this layer, just so you guys know, on this layer right here. I've stopped working on the mask from before. Okay. Erase part of that. Erase. Okay, good enough. I think that's good enough. You won't be able to tell. Okay. Let me see the hem of her jeans. That cuffed hem. See what that looks like. Let me disable this mask really quick. Disable. Okay, I didn't remove that much of it. Let me see. Enable. Boom. Okay, so it looks pretty natural. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get her leg from before. Let me disable it one more time. Disable. I'm seeing some green here. I don't know what that's from. Disable. Okay, yeah. So let me enable this. And what I'm going to do is from this mask, I'm going to clean this up because there was some green there from before. A little bit too much. I'm going to, hide more this top layer. All right. Okay, so that's good enough for now. So now I'm going to come up to here, to this picture, right? And I'm going to take her foot, right? So it's time for some digital surgery. I'm going to, where are we at? Is it this one? Yeah, rectangular marquise tool. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to crop her foot. Like that. Boom. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna do layer via copy, right? So it created another copy of her foot here. See that? So now I'm gonna bring this window out so that I can work with it a little bit better. This layer via copy is still here, right? And everything that's over here is in relation to this picture, right? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take this move tool and I'm going to drag and drop it onto this picture. Boom, there we go. So I'm going to put this back up here because I don't need it anymore for now. Go back to the original picture and then this is the layer via copy, right? Let me hide it and reveal it. Nope, it wasn't that one. Is it this one? Yeah, this is what. So it's getting a little bit confusing now, so I'm gonna double click this one and call it foot. And then what was this one? This was the cleaning stuff, right? So I'll just call it fix imperfections. I hope I spelled that right. I'm not the best speller. Okay, fix imperfections. Okay, I'll put the foot on top. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, the foot, will it let me move it? Yeah, there we go. So that's good. So I'm gonna move the foot, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come over here, and then I'm gonna, with the foot selected, I'm going to edit and then free transform, right? So it lets me rotate the foot to really make it pointed in the way that I want. I want to point it just like this foot, like extended. You know what I'm saying? So put the mouse over here. You see like this angular arrow, and you just rotate the foot. Rotate the foot. And then move it to where you want. Boom. Like magic. All right. Come on. All right. So sometimes you gotta zoom out to see how realistic it looks. That looks okay, but I really want it pointed to like really make her look like, you know, just graceful, like a ballerina, you know. So let me zoom out a little bit more, scroll down, rotate just a little bit more, drag it over. That probably is too much. It's probably a little bit too extreme, but it's kind of getting to what I want it to be. Yeah, see, go up, angle. That's a little bit too much. So let me go back. After I clean it up, I want to see how it looks. So let me just go a little bit. Boom, I don't want to look like her leg is broken. And then I'm going to move it over just slightly. Good enough. So I'm going to hit this button up here to commit transform. That's good. So this is her foot up here, right? As you can see, we're not done yet, obviously, because we still got a little bit of residual from the old picture here. So you guessed it, what we're gonna do next, we're gonna throw a mask on it, right there, right? Boom, throw a mask on that bad boy. And then we're gonna hit the this tool, the brush, and we're gonna hide because black is selected. And we are going to, you know, we can make it a hard brush, right? I think a hard brush should be okay. And then we're just gonna get rid of stuff. We'll start hiding all of that stuff. We can make it a hard brush because we like our background from before. It's all good. Zoom in to get the details. And then we might have to move it up a little bit more too, to be honest with you. Just to make sure that her foot meshes with the rest of her ankle. Maybe I should fast forward this part of the video. All right, we're back. We are back. So now I'm just going to carefully clean off just clean this part off. I'm probably gonna soften my brush. Yeah, let me soften my brush here because now I want to kind of blend the skin that was there from before in her ankle, right? Oh, actually there was no skin from the ankle. Well, let me just see. Well, let me blend, I should say, the textures from her jeans from before, right? So let me do this. Same thing. I'm just gonna soften the brush a little bit. That's what I wanted to just make sure that I explain to you guys verbally. Slow down the video a little bit for that. Go back here. Well, you know what? I think I didn't have to. That wasn't too required for this, so I think that's fine. but now I'm kind of hiding the stuff from before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and this part actually does require talking. As you can see, it's hiding everything because this part of the picture wasn't there before, right? On the foot picture. He doesn't know anything about this, like her cuff of her pants. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to brush white. Sometimes I get confused. Yeah, whites to reveal what was underneath again. That's going to be a hard brush. So, oops. So if you're wondering why this comes up, this just shows you like everything that you have hidden. It's kind of like what I did before, where everything is in black to show the layer mask. But that's all this is. What I did was I accidentally hit the backslash button. So I'm gonna get rid of that. But you don't really need to worry about that. That was like it's kind of like when you alt click on the mask, like I did before. Okay. And you know what? I might have to actually blend this a little bit, because this kind of looks like this. It kind of gives like a harsh, weird, fake-looking line. You see that? It makes like a harsh, even though you can't really see it from far. That's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over, and then I'm going to come up here, right? Brush tool. Then I'm going to soften maybe a little bit. Soften this. Soften it all the way. Yeah. Oops. Oh. That's fine. So let me zoom in a little bit more. I think what I'll have to do is just be really careful. X button, and I just have to carefully, brush everything back. This is the soft. Yeah, this is the soft as it gets. So just carefully brush it back. Just leaving a little bit of an interface. What I'll do is I'll go back to the Fix Imperfections layer and maybe sample some skin from the foot. Alright, so I'm gonna hit this and sample, hit the Alt button or Option on the Mac. Sample some of this. You know what? But the thing is, it's sampling. Sample some of this. So I want to click on the foot, right? The foot here. I'm gonna Alt, so sample some skin. Control Z that. Alt. That's fine. I'm zoomed in extremely small. That's fine. All right, so I think what I want to do, one of the things that makes this picture look a little off with her foot is the fact that this picture right here, is it this one? Yeah, this picture right here was taken a little bit differently, right? Even though it's taken a few seconds apart, taken a little bit differently than this picture. You know what I'm saying? So her foot is a little bit more exposed in this one because it's pointed out and exposed to the sun. A little bit more exposed than in this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of darken her foot a little bit because it looks a little bit too bright and makes it look fake. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that just a tad bit. So I'm going to throw a mask on this, an adjustment mask, so levels, right? And I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to create clipping mask so that any changes to darkness that I make are only made to just the foot. It won't make the changes to anything else because I want everything else to stay the same. And I just want the foot to be a little bit darker. I don't know if you can see that. Just watch the foot. And just the foot's going to change. Let me do it extreme. Do you see that? So I just want to make it a little bit darker so it kind of matches, you know what I'm saying, this foot a little bit more. Let me zoom out to see what it looks like. Okay, that's a little bit better. So you see the clipping mask I'm going to hit before, after? Yeah, look at that. See? Before, after. Look at that. That looks a lot better. That looks a little bit more natural. That looks a little bit more natural. Okay. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, what we can do is add like a little bit more of like a fantasy type look, like a weird, dreamy, like what is that, Wizard of Oz type filter? You know what I'm saying? We could like up the color saturation, but for the most part, this picture is basically done. I mean, it really looks like everything. She did a great job. You know, everything from her facial expression to this tiny umbrella floating upwards, carrying upwards. Look like she's gonna, you know, she's about to take a sunflower with her. You know what I'm saying? Got the shadow and everything. Everything really just came together. So I could actually stop at this point, but I'm gonna take it a step further. And if you also have Lightroom installed on your computer, you'll be able to do this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a new group, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all these layers, everything that I just did here. Boom, 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 boom. Select all of that. I'm gonna drop it into this group, right? I'm gonna close the group up because I'm gonna make a change to this overall picture. But I don't wanna, in case I mess up and I don't like what I did, I wanna go back to this group. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag it back to this plus icon, which duplicates the group, right? So I'm just gonna work on this top group and this will be the backup in case I don't like what I did, right? So I'm gonna go up here and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to convert this to a smart object. It kind of, all it does is it collapses everything into one picture, into one layer. And if you have Lightroom installed on your computer, what you can do is you go to filter, with this one, filter, the camera raw filter, yeah, camera raw filter. And I'm just going to change I want to bring out some more of the blues in the background, right? So basic, right? And I think if you turn on the highlights, there we go. See how the blues, a little bit more blues came out? See, if you turn all the way up, it kind of blows out the picture. So I turned out the highlights. See, the highlights were the white in the background, so I get a little bit more blue in the background. I think that's really it. I want to play with the shadows. That's all right. Okay, that's basically it. I mean, I could throw like a little tint on it. Oh, put one of these little presets on it. Let me see. Look at this, right? I changed it a few times. Yeah, you see these? It's kind of makes it look like a little fantasy red. Yeah. Ooh, this one looks nice. There's one here that's like, okay, cinematic. Ooh, this one looks dope. All right, so I'm just gonna select this one. I think that one looks, I want it to look semi-natural, but just a little bit dreamy, you know, just slightly dreamy. So I'm gonna hit the OK button. I just take the cloud to change it. Okay, there we go. That's good. And then, okay, that's good. So it gave it just kind of like a slight, you know, melanin tint to it. All right, you know what? This picture looks good, but there's actually one thing that's actually still kind of bothering me a little bit. So I'm being a super perfectionist, but when it comes to her foot right here, I just want to change. It looks like this when I changed the darkness and everything. I think I kind of like oversaturated this a little bit more. So I'm going to bring down the saturation. But first, what I want to do is I want to kind of blur the interface. You see like the cuff of her jeans here, and then from her ankle, it just kind of doesn't really look natural. It looks like it's like, you know, two pictures like, you know, pasted on top of each other. So it doesn't have that seamless look to it. So I think what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna get rid of this filter that I did. I could always re-filter it. So I'm just gonna delete this and then do it again. Just group copy. Yeah, delete this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this layer, and I'm going to hide this one. So the one underneath is the one that I'm going to convert it to a smart object so that I can blur it, right? I'm gonna actually blur the entire photo. It's like the entire photo, I'm gonna blur it, and then I'm going to reactivate this layer on top to cover the blur. And then I'm gonna throw a mask on this top layer to just reveal the blur of this part right here to kind of feather this this interface, you know, between her ankle and the cuff of her jean. That way, you know, at least you'll be able to, it'll just look a little bit more natural to feather it. That way it's not such a hard interface that doesn't really look the way it's supposed to look in real life. So I'm going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, just all these tiny things that are done to just make the picture look realistic. Blur this just a little bit more. Drag this up. Okay, that might be okay. I'm just kind of paying attention to here. Just hit the OK button. And then I'm gonna go back to this, right? This is what I was kind of trying to do before. And I'm gonna throw a mask on top of this one. And then I'm gonna paint blacks, right? I'm gonna paint black here. And you're gonna see this just blur a little bit more. That way it doesn't look like it's like weird, like floating on top. Yeah, so that this obviously does not look good, but it's okay. It'll pass through. It's okay, but because the reason why it's okay is because I made this layer a smart object, which means I can adjust it later on. So I'm going to go back to this, and I'm just going to bring down the blur so that it looks the way I want. There we go. A little bit more. Okay, that's a tad bit better. And when I zoom out, then it should look a little bit more realistic. Hit the OK button. Obviously it looks weird now when it's zoomed in. Okay. Alright, that looks okay. It looks better than it did before. And while I'm at it, I'm looking at this shadow part here. This kind of looks a little unnatural. So let me throw a mask on the very top of this and see if I can fill in the shadow, because this weird gap here just doesn't look right. This gap in the shadow. So I'm going to get the healing brush. I think I was accidentally saying clone stamp before. Sometimes I use that clone stamp, and I'm just going to actually use the healing brush, and I'm going to Alt and go to shadow. Oops, this is kind of hard. Let me soften it up. That's a little bit better. Zoom out. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit more like it. That's a little bit more like it. So this is the one that we're seeing. So we have her foot here, right? So I'm going to adjust this. So levels, hit this levels layer. I'm going to go here. See if I can turn it back. No, is it too dark? Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. I think I'm just trying to match this to this. I might have to maybe throw a color balance layer on here just to, because it looks like I oversaturated it a little bit. As okay, I think this is good enough. Well, this is good enough. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Well, just tiny things that I guess I'm able to catch because I'm editing the picture. Okay, that's good. Let's see, so I can close that and put an adjustment layer, color balance. Let's see if I can just change the overall color balance of this. Reds, it's like everything. This kind of looks like the filter that we had on before, because her skin is brown, and so reds are kind of like what control that. So I'm moving a little bit over towards the red side, and that's good enough. So, and this is adjusting the color balance of all the layers, which is fine. And if I want to do kind of like a global edit of everything, I actually like that sky from before, that layer, that camera raw filter kind of, removed. So let me put it back, and then I won't do the camera raw filter because I already took care of that filter with this color balance. So I'm just gonna make another group, and hit the shift button. I'll select everything and put it in this group. Yeah, might as well duplicate it, and then what am I I doing? A duplicate. Yeah. Duplicate, convert to smart object. And then all I'm going to do is adjust the highlights. I'm going to do that filter. I just want a little bit more of the sky to show. Basic highlights. Oops, other way. Boom. That's all we need. Perfect. Let that do its thing. All right, so yeah, that's basically it. This is how you make a very realistic looking levitation shoot, levitation photo. Shout out to Anya. She did a spectacular job. The posing was immaculate. The shoot looks really good. And yeah, this is how you do it. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you guys paying attention. All right, so that took a lot of creativity, but we made it, right? Okay, cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you for your support of this YouTube channel. Please let me know what type of stuff you guys want to see next. As you guys send me ideas and things like that, I'm going to put it on, like a list. I have like a bunch of notes, and I'm going to start doing these videos one by one. So thanks a lot. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below, hit the notification so you can always get more. So you can get notifications every time I post a new video. Check out the links in the description. Share this video with a friend. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. All right, take care.